I'm Ben Meiselas from the MeidasTouch network. Donald Trump is handling the fact that Special Counsel Jack Smith just filed a superseding indictment about, as you would expect Donald Trump to handle it, calling for Special Counsel Jack Smith, Merrick Garland, Lisa Monaco, other people at the Department of Justice to be imprisoned, as well as spreading lies and other deranged conspiracy theories. We will play for you some of the recordings of Donald Trump. I'm going to show you some of his posts. Then I want to compare it to what President Biden is posting and saying, because I think the contrast could not be clearer. And it was always your advice that I should show that contrast, not just the Trump posts. I completely agree. So we've added that element to our videos. So here's what Donald Trump is posting. He's saying they ought to throw deranged Jack Smith and his thug prosecutors in jail with meritless Garland, that's what he calls Merrick Garland, the Attorney General, Trump-hating Lisa Monaco, who's one of the top officials at the Department of Justice. He goes, they have totally weaponized the Department of Justice. Whatever happened to the crooked Joe Biden case? Why was Hillary Clinton allowed to delete 33,000 emails, many of them classified, after getting a subpoena from Congress? Why was Bill Clinton allowed to take tapes out of the White House in his socks? Why has no other president ever been charged? Election fraud. It's all projection and confession and lies with Donald Trump. Ultimately, Donald Trump exhibited the intent element of the crime that nobody else has exhibited at all. Everyone was cooperative when it came to being forthcoming with investigations, whether it was by the FBI or the Department of Justice. When Donald Trump talks about this Clinton Socks case, I'll talk about it a little more. He has no clue what he is talking about. It is just all complete lies. And this is all Donald Trump talks about. Like, you're going to see posts from President Biden. Here, I'll show you one, for example, right here. This is what Biden posts. The economy's continued growth builds on the strongest pandemic recovery and lowest inflation of any G7 country. Bidenomics is growing the economy from the middle out and bottom up, not the top down, and hardworking Americans are seeing the results. See, this is what Biden's talking about. Jobs, lowering the cost of healthcare, lowering the cost of education, making healthcare education accessible, focusing on seniors, focusing on students, veterans, equality, making sure women can control their bodies. I mean, you're talking about real tangible things that Biden's talking about. And this is what Trump is talking about. Here, Donald Trump, in one of these interviews he gave to one of these far right-wing radio hosts, Trump says that the tapes are his. These are my tapes that we gave him, I guess referring to the surveillance footage, and then calls Jack Smith a thug and says that prosecutors are making up lies about him. Play this clip.
But these people, these are thugs. Jack Smith is, I call him deranged Jack Smith. He's a prosecutor who's been overturned unanimously in the Supreme Court. Vicious tactics. They went after two fine employees yesterday, fine people, and I don't think they think that the tapes were even changed. These were my tapes that we gave to them. And they basically then say that's not enough. I don't think we would have had to give it. I'm not sure that we would have even had to give it. These were security tapes. We handed them over to them. I doubt we would have, if we wanted to fight that, I doubt we would have had to give it. But regardless, we gave it. Now, I'm not sure I'm not even sure what they're saying. They're trying to intimidate people so that people go out and make up lies about me because I did nothing wrong. They're trying to, and I come under the Presidential Records Act, which is civil. It's not even criminal. But they're trying to intimidate people, and so they have to lie to get out of a problem. But these are two wonderful employees. They've been with me for a long time, and they're great people. And they want to destroy their lives.
So the superseding indictment contains almost a minute-by-minute summary of events with witness statements of people who work at Mar-a-Lago, former employees of Trump, individuals identified by indicators like employee number 3, employee number 4, who all provide damaging information about Trump's attempt to destroy surveillance footage. There's also very detailed information on the superseding indictment about the specific documents that Donald Trump, classified documents that Trump was showing to like random people at Bedminster, that these were indeed war plans from Iran that indeed Special Counsel Jack Smith has possession of those documents. And so Jack Smith's superseding indictment is just fact. Here are all of the things. Here's the evidence. Here are the witness. Here are the photographs. But, Donald Trump and MAGA Republicans like, oh, everyone's just lying about me. Lie. Here's Donald Trump on another far right-wing network. He's saying here that, and falsely claiming that the Clinton sock draw case means that Bill Clinton smuggled documents out of the White House in his socks. That's what Trump's saying here. Play the clip.
We're sick. What they're doing is absolutely horrible. Look at Hillary Clinton. Look at what these other people got away with. Obama took documents. Bush took documents. They all took documents. Take a look at Bill Clinton with the socks case, where he took them out in his socks. Okay, he took stuff out, he put it in his socks, no problem. In fact, had a case which exonerated him, and it was a civil case. Nobody's ever gone through this. This is crazy. And you have a thing called the Presidential Records Act, and I come under the Presidential Records Act, and it's so obvious what it says. You're allowed to do this, and they have to ask you, or they can ask, and at most they have a civil case.
And again, this is being repeated by Tom Fitton, who's not a lawyer, who gives Donald Trump the legal advice. He's the guy who wears like the really tight shirts, runs an organization called, if you want to call it that, Judicial Watch. And this whole Clinton socks thing that they've come up with is a case that Tom Fitton filed in 2011 or 2012 in federal court, trying to seek injunctive relief to compel the National Archives in 2012 to compel former President Bill Clinton to turn over the personal notes that he kept in connection with his personal autobiography, which Fitton alleged Bill Clinton kept in a socks drawer. That's why they call it the socks case. But that case involved personal notes for Bill Clinton's personal autobiography. Bill Clinton didn't steal war plans. He didn't steal classified briefings. He didn't steal information on other countries' nuclear arsenal. He didn't steal documents that belonged to the government. It was his personal notes. And in that case, Fitton lost. The federal judge, Judge Amy Berman Jackson, there's no jurisdiction to hear this stupid case. Tom Fitton, you're a private citizen. You can't get injunctive relief to compel the National Archives, to compel Bill Clinton from 11 years ago to turn over the notes that he was making for his autobiography. And in any event, they're personal notes for a personal autobiography. These aren't government records. These aren't other records. These are personal records. So if Donald Trump had personal notes, that he took personal records for a personal autobiography, he can make a claim that maybe those belong to him, but our nuclear arsenal doesn't belong to Donald Trump. Our classified documents, our war plans don't belong to Donald Trump. District court opinions aren't even precedent to begin with. Circuit court and Supreme Court decisions, published opinions are. So it couldn't even be precedent, but if it had any persuasive authority, it cuts against the point that Trump makes. Because, again, Trump stole classified records, not personal. These aren't personal notes. Anyway.
This show is sponsored by BetterHelp. Look, life brings its challenges, and there have been points in my life where I was uncertain about the future, and frankly, there are times where I still get that feeling. Sometimes in life, we're faced with tough choices, and the path forward isn't always clear. I stopped working at my marketing job, you guys know this, in order to pursue the MeidasTouch network full time because of how much I deeply care about this country. I had no idea where that was going to lead. Whether you're dealing with decisions around your career, relationships, or anything else, therapy helps you stay connected to what you really want while you navigate your life so you can move forward with confidence and excitement. Trusting yourself to make decisions that align with your values is like anything. The more you practice it, the easier it gets. Now, I personally benefited from therapy because it allows me to discuss my feelings of uneasiness or stress factors and find ways to cope in healthy and productive ways. I've truly been able to become the best version of myself thanks to therapy. And by the way, therapy, it's for everyone, not just for those who've experienced some major traumas. What you're going through matters. If you're thinking of starting therapy, give BetterHelp a try. It's entirely online, designed to be convenient, flexible, and suited to your schedule. Just fill out a brief questionnaire to get matched with a licensed therapist and switch therapists at any time for no additional charge. Let therapy be your map with BetterHelp. Visit betterhelp.com/Meidas to get 10% off your first month. That's HELP.com/Meidas.
Here's Donald Trump on a radio interview, far right wing one again. This is what he's saying. He's saying how it's unpleasant that he has to tell his wife and kids that he's getting indicted. Play the clip.
How is your family holding up? First Lady Barron, how's the family holding up through all this?
Well, I try and keep them shielded and out of it. I just, stay away from the standpoint of this. But it's always unpleasant when you have to go in and tell your wife that, by the way, tomorrow sometime I'm going to be indicted. And she says, for what? I say, I have no idea. I have absolutely no idea. Normally, you know exactly.
And just more posts that he's making. He goes, how can deranged Jack Smith bring a case on January 6th, as ridiculous as it is anyway, when I've already won such a case and been fully acquitted in the U.S. Senate? What case have you won? What are you talking about? Because you weren't convicted by the 2/3 necessary in the Senate to convict, you think that you won the case? What are you talking about? The fact that you had MAGA Republicans who were complicit? What in the world are you talking about? He goes, in other words, I was impeached on this and won. Election interference and prosecutorial misconduct all rolled up as one. We are truly a nation in decline. And then again, just compare it to what President Biden said. I like here that he talks about Trump in this post, though. My predecessor presided over historic job losses. Thanks to Bidenomics, we provided over historic job growth. And here's a video of President Biden, one that I want to share. This is a video that he makes about Tommy Tuberville, the MAGA Republican senator from Alabama, who is refusing to confirm military appointees who are needed to run the military, thus preventing all of the appointments and promotions in our military, because Tommy Tuberville says he's trying to make a point that the military helps fund reproductive care, travel expenses for women who are seeking reproductive care. Tommy Tuberville says that because he believes that is unlawful, which it is not, but because he believes it's unlawful, he's not going to let the military promote generals and promote senior officials, and he wants to cripple the military. That's who the MAGA Republicans are today. Here, this is President Biden saying, enough. I urge the senator from Alabama and his Republican colleagues in the Senate to approve all outstanding military nominees now, end this blockade, and let these generals and admirals fully serve our country. Play this clip of Biden.
The senior senator from Alabama, who claims to support our troops, is now blocking more than 300 military operations with his extreme political agenda. Right now, tens of thousands of America's daughters and sons are deployed around the world tonight, keeping us safe from immense national security challenges. But the senator from Alabama is not. This partisan freeze is already harming military readiness, security leadership, and troop morale, all because one senator from Alabama and 48 Republicans who refused to stand up to him to lift the blockade over the Pentagon policy offering servicemen and women, their families, access to reproductive health care rights they deserve if they're stationed in states to deny it. Enough. It's time for the Senator of Alabama to let these generals and admirals fully serve their country and service members care for themselves and their families.
And here President Biden posts, our military's diversity is a strength, not a weakness. It's a necessary part of war fighting and all successful military operations. And our unity out of many, not division, ensures good order and discipline, unit cohesion and effectiveness, and military readiness. So folks, you make the decision. Biden, Trump. As President Biden says, don't compare me to the almighty, compare me to the alternative. I'm making that comparison right here on the show. You decide. I'm Ben Meiselas from the MeidasTouch Network. Hit subscribe. We're on our way to 1.5 million subscribers thanks to your support. Check us out at patreon.com/MeidasTouch. Wherever you get audio podcasts, subscribe to the MeidasTouch podcast. Have a great day. Ben Meiselas here. I want to tell you about my best friend growing up as a kid. His name is David Sorokin. We were inseparable growing up. Here, check out the photos of us. I knew David Sorokin was going to grow up to do great things, and that he did. And I want to tell you how David Sorokin can help you out. You see, David Sorokin is a partner at the renowned plaintiffs law firm called the Morelli Law Firm, one of the top personal injury law firms in the entire country, with a specialty in truck accidents, construction accidents, and cases where a victim has suffered a traumatic brain injury. Morelli Law Firm has obtained billions of dollars in recoveries all across the country for its clients and their families. The Morelli Law Firm recently received a jury verdict of more than $100 million for a single plaintiff who suffered a traumatic brain injury as a result of a construction accident, setting the New York State record for the largest pain and suffering verdict ever in a traumatic brain injury case. The Morelli firm has represented actor-comedian Tracy Morgan in his famous truck accident case against Walmart. The Morelli firm takes cases that are 7, 8, and 9 figures to jury verdict. So if you or anyone in your family has been injured as a result of someone else's negligence, call the attorneys at the Morelli Law Firm today. The phone number is 516-447-8233. That's 516-447-8233. You can also check out their website at morellilaw.com/Meidas. That's MORELLILAW.com/Meidas. Again, it's MORELLILAW.com/Meidas. And as I've kind of phased out being a litigator and I've been focusing more on the MeidasTouch network, I want to make sure that you are all in good hands if you or someone you know has been a victim of someone else's negligence. So reach out to the Morelli firm. They're a law firm that I trust a lot, and I know they'll take very good care of you all. That's morellilaw.com/Meidas, and you can say that Ben Meiselas sent you. Have a great one.